Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I realized in my preparation for this week that if I continue to start opening my Divrei Torah the way that I've continued to do so for a while, then all of you are going to know way more about me than some of my closest friends will after a year or two. So I apologize for that. But having said that, I'm going to start in a similar way. So this is something that I hope my mom is watching too, because she is going to be laughing at home for all the things that she had to put up with when I was a child. But when I was growing up, a thing that happened to me all the time was I was a notorious sleepwalker. And I don't mean like the kind of sleepwalker who gets up and tries to look in the refrigerator for some food or for some water or something like that. But I was bad. I was really bad. One of the first nights moving to our new house when I was 12 or 13, my mom learned eventually how to develop this kind of intuition of being like, I have a feeling that Yoni is doing something right now. And she got up in the middle of the night and saw that the garage door was open and saw me about halfway up the street in my underwear. And she ran up and tried to get me back. She said, Yoni, where are you going? I said, I'm going to go visit my friend Tanner, who lived in the same neighborhood. She's like, I think he's probably sleeping, like everyone else. There was another time when my parents woke up they have their bathroom right on the side of their bedroom, and they woke up to me filling a garbage can with water in the sink next to their bed. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I looked at them and said, are you just going to sit there, or are you going to help me fill these up? Suffice to say, they did not help me. I've got plenty of these stories, but one last one. I was at a sleepover at a friend's house who lived in the same neighborhood, and there was about 8 or 9 of us that were at the sleepover, and he has in his basement a tank that had 2 piranhas in it, which is kind of like a cool, some people have like goldfish and betta fish, he had piranhas. So everyone had started falling asleep, but there were a few people still up watching the TV or movies or something, and I got up in the middle of my sleep, walked over and kind of looked at everyone, went over to the fish tank, and just dunked my arm in it, kind of looked around at everyone, took my hand out, then walked back and went back to sleep. So I don't sleepwalk anymore. I've still been known to talk a little bit in my sleep. But when I think back about this, it's a little embarrassing, it's a little mortifying, and it's also kind of dangerous. But something that I think about is that there's such strength and such power in dreams that when I'm sitting here and I'm dreaming and I'm having such palpable and lucid dreams, that my body reacts. That is how deep I am in my dream that my body can't help but to be involved in some way. And I was thinking about this, I was thinking that in Judaism, our tradition and our rabbis and numerous commentators care so much about dreams. And I think that this first starts with Jacob, when he's having his dream and has this idea of Jacob's ladder, where he sees angels ascending and descending, but it really meets its paragon, it really meets its exemplar of what dreaming is when we get to this parasha. When we get to Joseph, we see someone who dreams, but dreams in such a powerful way that the whole world around him is impacted by his dreams. And what's interesting about this parasha is that our rabbis, the rabbis of the Talmud, are usually so they give the benefit of the doubt to almost all of our patriarchs and matriarchs. They look at them with such grace and with such indebtedness to what they've done to our tradition. So famously, we have the story of Abraham, who runs out to greet these 3 angels that are waiting at his door. And he brings them back to his tent, and what does the Torah say? The Torah says that he feeds them meat, but also milk. So the rabbis are like, well, that can't be. Of course that can't be. Abraham is the first Jewish person, obviously kept kosher. So he's not feeding them meat and milk together. So they go and they explain how he fed them milk first, and then separated, and then... So do you understand what I'm saying? That they go back to the patriarchs, and they always give them the benefit of the doubt. But the one person that they really have a difficult time with is Joseph. And Joseph they see as having this profound and amazing gift of chalamot, of dreams. And what they're upset by is what he does with those dreams. So we have famously this very first dream that Joseph has. He goes to his brothers. Does anyone know, what does he say? What's the first dream that Joseph has? So the sheaves, okay, so the sheaves of wheat, and what happens? What's the image? Right, so he says, he comes to his brothers and said, I had a dream, and in my dream we are all sheaves of wheat, and I, as my sheaf of wheat, stand up higher than all of the other sheaves, and you all bow down to me. And shockingly, the brothers don't take kindly to that dream. He then comes back to them and he says, I had a dream that the sun and the moon and the 11 stars all bow down to me. And again, the brothers are like, oh, I swear, one more time. He does this one more time. But what the rabbis say is that, can we actually think that Joseph is interpreting these dreams this way? So the Lubavitcher Rebbe has two different ways of interpreting this, and neither of them are really that great for Joseph. It's either that Joseph is completely oblivious to the power and the significance of his dreams, or, much worse, that he is intentionally deceiving his brothers, knowing that the dream is different than the way he interpreted it to them. So according to this idea, what Joseph's dream is really about is not some foreshadowing to when his brothers are going to eventually have to come to him and swallow their pride and realize what they've done wrong to him, but it's supposed to be about unity. It's supposed to be about this beautiful image of these sheaves of wheat being bound together, this family coming together, this community coming together, and that all of those sheaves of wheat come together as one bundle to bow down not in front of Joseph, but before God. And the rabbis are so upset by this idea because they said that none of this needed to happen. Joseph didn't need to be thrown in the pit. Joseph didn't need to be sent to Egypt. None of this needed to happen. The whole idea is that this is the foreshadowing of the 12 tribes of Israel who are going to be united as one kingdom of the Jewish people who are going to praise God. And because of the missteps of Joseph, God has to intervene. God is the one who has to make sure that all of this takes place. So, the asterisk here is that the rabbis are upset that Joseph is a dreamer, but that Joseph has the potential to sleepwalk, and he doesn't do it. The fact that he has such a powerful dream in his body, and he doesn't use it as inspiration to get up and to motivate his brothers and his family to come together for something larger, but does it instead to elevate himself. One of my favorite pieces of liturgy in everything that we have, in the Torah, in the Siddur, in all of rabbinic literature, is something that we say on Shabbat and festivals when we do Birkat Hamazon, when we bench after meals, when we say Shir Hamala B'Shuv Adonai Et Shivat Sion Hayinu Kecholmi. And that last bit, Hayinu Kecholmi, how can we translate that? We were like dreamers. And this idea of we were like dreamers, this is the reunification of Jerusalem, of Zion, of the Jewish people returning from the exile in Babylon. And they say we were like dreamers when we got back there. But I think that it's something that's so profound. It's not saying that we were like dreamers because this is some incredible dream that we don't believe, but because every single day and every single moment for every single year that there was exile, they were praying for their return to Eretz Israel and to Zion. Thousands of years later, Herzl said something very similar. Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, then it is no longer a dream. Thousands of years later, a completely different return to Israel, a completely different return to Zion, to Zion. And again, it was not just a dream, it was sleepwalking. It was a dream that was so powerful and so palpable that you couldn't stand still. that your body became so engaged with this idea of return, not just to Eretz Yisrael for the sake of autonomy, but for the sake of, it is the land of the Jewish people, where Israel and God can speak in ways that they can't speak anywhere else in this world. So when we say this, when we say these beautiful words of Hayinu Kechomim, some of you who have received emails from me might see that on the bottom of my emails I signed them Hayinu Kechomim, Anachnu Kechomim, Nihyeh Kechomim. We were like dreamers, we are like dreamers, we will be like dreamers. And not just like dreamers, but like sleepwalkers. People that have dreams that are so profound and so big and so beautiful that we can't help but to be motivated by them. Our body can't stand still. And just as an aside, it's something that's very important for us to recognize in this room, as Manny pointed out earlier. There was a funeral on Tuesday for Bill Berman, who was not just a dreamer, but he was a really incredible sleepwalker. A man who saw everything that he had in his community and wanted not just to build buildings, but to fill them with Torah and to fill them with song and to fill them with learning. That is the difference between dreaming and sleepwalking. So I want us to go into the Shabbat thinking of what it means when we say these things. That when we look at how incredible our dreams are, not just the dreams that we dream when we go to sleep, but the dreams that we think about every single day of our lives that sometimes seem absolutely absurd, that seem like we can't even come close to touching them. But then I want us to think about what it means to come back from the exile of Babylon, for what it means to go from the Holocaust to Medinat Yisrael. Things that we never thought we would ever see in our lifetime, things we never thought would ever happen to the Jewish people again, were not just dreams. They were dreams that involved sleepwalking, where people couldn't sit still, where the pride and the glory of the Jewish people became so important and so powerful that it motivated every single one of us. So this Shabbat, my blessing for all of us is to go into the rest of our Shabbat, into this 8 days of Hanukkah, which begin tonight, and to go into a year ahead, 2017, with an idea of what are our dreams? What's motivating our dreams, not just as individuals, but as families? What's motivating our dreams as a community here at Shaarey Zedek, as a community here in Detroit, and as a Jewish people all around the world? And I want to encourage us that we go into the Shabbat, not just like dreamers, but like sleepwalkers. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.